Greetings and welcome for another episode of His Will for Your Life. I am your host, Sherry Levon Harris, and we have two awesome speakers tonight, guests, I should say, that's going to bring the word and give us some insight on understanding the emotional weight of ministry. It can be challenging at times, and they're going to provide the necessary resources that will help us get through this. Please stay tuned. Please like, tag, and share, and we'll be right back.
His Will for Your Life with Cherie Harris. This is your weekly Wednesday 7 p.m. podcast. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Informative, hot topics, testimonies, interviews, along with your weekly guests and more. And now here's your host, Cherie Harris.
Welcome back. Again, I'm your host, Sherry Levon Harris, and I have joining me Apostles Kevin and Michelle Miller. How are you both doing tonight?
Hey, how are you, Pastor Sherry?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you both.
Thank you. It's good to be seen.
Yes, it is.
We know that you are no stranger to us, Apostle Michelle, and so I'm going to allow your husband to go first to introduce himself, and then you can follow after.
My name is Apostle Kevin Miller. I'm used to just not title. I'm the brother. That's what it is. I'm a brother. I'm not caught up in titles. I love the Most High and I love the Word.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Apostle Michelle.
I'm Apostle Michelle Miller, the wife of Overseer Kevin Miller, and I'm no stranger to His Will for Your Life. This is like my second home. My sister, Pastor Sherry, hallelujah, wonderful person, talented, full of witty ideas, and so we really are just happy to be here again.
Awesome. So we're going to, there's a lot of people in here supporting you tonight, so I'm going to try to multitask with interviewing you and then allowing others to ask questions if possible. Okay. So we're going to go right into the questions that we have for you guys tonight, and they're all centered around the burden of ministry as well as understanding the emotional weight of ministry. Okay. So I'm going to start off with just general experience that you have as pastors and as leaders in ministry. Can you describe your journey into ministry and what initially drew you into this path?
Tears.
Yes.
We're going to behave this evening.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yes, ma'am. It's what drove us here was the call, was a strong pull. And I'm just gonna be honest with you, I try to deny it as much as I possibly could because of I've seen how churches were ran and how things would go in church, and I'm like, I don't want no part of that because I'm not them and they're not me. Mm-hmm. And so I did my best to stay away from it.
Okay.
and until I could not run no more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Let it do it.
Now, wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
I think though too that though we didn't want. I think when you see things that you would want to be better, you have to learn how to be a part of the solution.
Right.
Mhm.
So the only way to provide a solution is to be a solution.
Mm.
So for me, it was, man, I would never want anyone to go through some of the things that I've been through, even as a leader, not necessarily a shepherd, but just coming up
Mhm.
in the church, and there were just experiences that I just didn't want people to have. I didn't want people to be treated some of the ways I had been treated. And that's really what I think pulled me into ministry. I was a leader, I'm a pastor's kid, but I just wanted it to be what I thought the Father would really want for his people to experience,
Mm.
what man wants it to be.
Right.
Not only that, just we're real, and what you see is what you're going to get. And I got tired of hearing people living two separate lives. You say one thing in the church, but you live a different way outside the church.
Absolutely.
And it became a point to where I did not want to be anywhere near that.
Mm.
Anywhere near that. With traditions and rudiments of men and titles and stuff like that, because it was depressing to me. And I would ask myself, man, who in their right mind would want to leave the world to sit underneath this mess?
Mm.
And so for me, I had to go through a detox and a deprogramming to be reprogrammed of how to understand and how to deal with Yah's people. It's yeah. Yeah, I told my wife I'm gonna be nice.
We're gonna be nice. Next question.
Yeah, I'm gonna be nice.
Well, you don't have to be, because we feel about being transparent, and someone may actually need what you have to say.
Okay.
So here's question number 2. What aspects of your work in ministry do you find most fulfilling, and why?
Oh, wow.
You want to go first?
Yes. Yes. Outreach. Outreach.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I came from outreach. I was born and raised in the hood. And when you born and raised in the hood, all you see and live is poverty. And so to watch somebody go spiritually from rags to riches is awesome, because a lot of people don't get the opportunity to bear witness to someone going from rag to riches. And so that's my thing. I can give him feed him all day long, but if I teach him how to fish, he'll feed himself the rest of his life.
Right.
And so that is one of my big drives is builder of men and builder of brothers. That's the biggest thing for me that brought me here, that I get joy out of watching men, watching the Most High transform men into godly men.
Discipleship.
Yep.
Awesome. Apostle Michelle.
I don't even know how I answered the question. Let's ask me the question again.
What aspects of your work in ministry do you find most fulfilling, and why?
It's definitely watching people grow. It's definitely watching people grow. It's watching people become what they're supposed to be. It's watching people realize that they are somebody in the Father. You know, it's watching people have a tangible experience or a tangible encounter with the Father, to know that he is real. He's not just something that we read about or something that we talk about, that there's a tangible experience that we can touch him, that he can touch us. And then seeing people operate in their gifts, seeing people. I think the thing, for one of the things that has bothered me over the years is that as leaders, sometimes I think that we can think that we're the only ones who can get anything done. Like that we're just a single subset of people. A lot of times people think I'm just the one and everybody else is not. But the kingdom is so vast, and there's so much to be harvested, that no one leader, no one church, no one group can reach the masses of souls that are still not saved. So for me, it's seeing people, one, know the Father and him know them, like to see him moving in them and to see him talking to them. It's like I can look at people and know the Father is speaking to them. And then watching them use what they've been made to be to help somebody else to become, you know, people of power and authenticity in the kingdom. I think that's it for me. That's where I get joy. That's where I thrive, because as a teacher, that's my thing. You know, you want to see your students progress in what they're being taught and what the Holy Spirit, what Ruach is teaching. So, you know, I think that's it. That's it.
Okay, so let's talk about, on the other hand, what are some of the most challenging aspects you face in your roles as leaders?
People,
and it's, you know, the one of the things, and if I can put it in this form, it's like being a parent, and you know that your child or your children are gifted and talented, and you know that they can do it, and you know it's in them.
Right.
They don't know it's in them. They refuse to believe that it's in them, and that is very, it's a very challenging thing, because of it pulls on you and it drains you,
Right.
because of you constantly have to be the cheerleader. You constantly have to encourage them when they don't feel like they're capable. It's one of those things to where you like, I see it. He didn't did this through you, and you have to constantly remind them who he is to them. And you're like, I need you to get it. 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 And at our ministry, we don't validate people. And what I mean by that, you seeking validation from a man, you in the wrong place, because you will not get that from me. I'm not doing that. We don't do that. Whatever the Most High says, that's what he says. That's the end of that. If you seeking to impress me, I'm gonna tell you right now, you didn't waste your time.
Yeah, we don't
I don't do
validate,
that.
we affirm,
No.
because that's something that I think people seek too much of. And so they miss becoming what they're supposed to become, because they're waiting for somebody to say so. when it's really the Father that says so, we come to affirm or confirm to help,
Right.
to uplift, to build. You know, we want people to have their own relationship with the Most High. Like, don't just listen to me tell you what he's saying. Get to know him for yourself. Because when you have to stand before him, you can't say to him, well, I did everything Apostle Michelle told me to do.
Right.
And he's like, but you didn't have any intimacy with me. I would have told you.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I think one of that's another hard point, you know, is we have to make sure as leaders that we are not operating in the realm of self-deification,
Right.
that we are not making ourselves, making our voices greater than the eternals. We cannot place ourselves above the Most High to dealing with his people, because we have to teach them to hear him first. Because there'll be a day where we're not with you. You won't be able to always pick up the phone and call me to confirm something that you feel, see, think. So, you know, they have to be equipped to be able to hear for themselves. And then if they're not sure, they can come and get counsel.
Right.
But I think for me, one of the things is the correction. A lot. I think that's one of the things that I don't like to do. Because, you know, we are cheerleaders. We do want people to be great, but I'm finding for me in this season, which has been challenging, is bringing the correction, because, you know, I'm the mom, I'm the cheerleader, you know, I want to console and I want to pick them up and I'm going to dust them off and come on, you know what I'm saying? But you know, we have to bring the correction. Now, I don't think correction is humiliating. I don't think correction is degrading. I think it goes in line with the scripture, whom Yahuwah loves, he chastens. Whom the Most High loves, he chastens, he corrects. You know what I'm saying? And we correct in love. You know, I think that is challenging, because we get a lot of people from different ministries and different walks of ministries. They're just seeking something different. They're just seeking something more. And so we've been reared in the spirit to understand that there's a mindset that people come with, whatever it is, because it's different for each individual. But we have to be patient enough to allow them to be renewed in the spirit of their mind, so that they can be taught, as my husband was saying, kind of deprogrammed to be programmed by the Holy Spirit. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm good. That it can be a challenge, because some people are coming wounded from being wounded. You know, they're coming from some hurt places. And so we have to work through healing first. We have to work through, let's recognize, you know, some things, and let's deal with those things while we're still trying to equip you. Like it's like, you know, multiple ways of working so that the whole man is complete.
Yes. I'm going to take a quick break so that you can have a little break. And we're still in the series of celebrating our fourth year as a podcast. I keep wanting to say ministry podcast. So I'm going to give you a chance to get yourself together, and we will be right back. Where is it?
Shalom and ahava to my one and only auntie, whom I love, Pastor Sherry. I've seen people sending you videos celebrating this great anniversary, but I heard this song for you. Yah was there all the time. He was there all the time, waiting patiently in this life. Oh, Yah was there all the time. Yah was there all the time. Oh, he was there all the time, waiting patiently in this life. Oh, Yah was there. Oh, Yah was there. Oh, he was there. Yes, he was. Yah was there all the time. Yah was there all the time when you needed him. Even through this, even through every obstacle, Yah was there. Even when you felt like giving up, he was there all the time. And he is with you until the very end. In every area, he is with you. And I love you. And I'm praying for you. And you got this. So keep going. Happy anniversary. I love you.
Yeah, that was nephew Navi.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So, are we ready? We have come against that call because I know
Yeah.
God's not holding back, but the enemy knows how powerful you are. And so,
I've been battling with it, let me tell you. But I'm healed. By his stripes, I'm already healed.
yes, you are. You are healed. You are healed. You want to go on to the next question, or did you want to continue to elaborate on that question?
We can go to the next one. That's fine.
So we're going to talk about the emotional weight. How do you personally define the term emotional weight within the context of your ministry and the work that you do?
How do we define the context of emotional weight in our ministry and the work that we do?
Yes.
I will tell you, it's wisdom that the Lord had to teach.
Mm-hmm.
Wisdom that the Most High had to teach. Because as human beings, humankind, we are very susceptible to our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to respond out of our emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's important to know that the emotional weight is knowing how to be empathetic and caring, but not own.
Say that again.
I don't even know what I just said.
You said caring, but not own, because a lot of times leaders think they own the sheep.
They own the sheep. And when you own the sheep, you own everything that comes with them. Every single thing. So I think we have to have a posture of I care and I'm here and I'll pray. But sometimes I know I have in the past, I have taken on the emotion. I have taken on the hurt. I have taken on their wounds. I want to fight with them. You know what I'm saying? The person that hurt them. You know what I'm saying? We have to always keep a posture of being level, you know, because we can't get in it too and still expect to be able to counsel them. So we have to be empathetic and we have to understand, because we've all gone through some things, but to not carry that emotional weight of wounds, not carry the misunderstanding and mindset, and to be patient. And to be patient. And those are things that I've learned over the years. But I think I started learning that before we started a ministry. The Lord just showed me one day that a lot of what we deal with is the unhealed places of people. A lot of the way people act, the attitudes, the disobedience, rebellion, a lot of those things are because of the emotional state of a sheep.
Wow.
You know, and if we're not careful, my prophetic father used to talk to us a lot about sheep bites.
I told him that.
And your husband had taught on that. And we have to be careful that we don't, we allow the sheep to get what they need. We nurture and we care for them. But we don't allow them to bite us because they don't mean it. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be, it's a place of wisdom. That's all I can say. And I know that the Lord has blessed us with wisdom because I don't know that people who aren't pastors with sheep, I don't know that they understand what weight really comes with that. So I think it can be, I think the emotional weight can be their stuff. And then we're still human. We still have family. We have children. We have our own soul. We have our own history. You know what I'm saying? So we have to find it's balance. I think it's the wisdom of balance. The wisdom of balance, the wisdom of not taking things personally, and understanding that to whom much is given, because we've been given the, what's the word I'm looking for? Responsibility of taking care of sheep. Then we're required to be responsible with whatever they may do that they don't even mean. And we have to be mindful not to respond to them how they respond to us. You really got to learn how to pause. You really have to learn how to pause, and you have to realize that it's not them. It's just an unhealed place.
And even with that, with sheep, they're so used to hearing my house, my this, my that, my this, my that from a shepherd. But the thing about it is as a shepherd, we have to be mindful that the sheep is not ours. They belong to the Most High. And everybody, when we deal with emotional stuff, everybody wants to be a part and feel a part. So when you know, at our house, you won't hear us say my house. It says our house, because I'm letting the sheep know that that you're a part of this house. Because when sheep goes to when they go to a house, they have all this heavy burden, heavy emotion. Well, I heard that I can't do this. I heard they told me I will never be this. You done heard stuff. Sheep done heard stuff like if you leave our ministry, you're gonna die. Yeah. If you go to this ministry, you won't grow. You belong to this house. That's witchcraft.
Absolutely.
That's witchcraft, and what you have done, and what shepherds have done, have planted seed. And we need to pour oil on the sheep's ears to keep those things, keep those type of bugs out of them. And so we ourselves have, as shepherds, have to understand the emotional part is that they've been mistreated. They have been left alone to survive on their own because of they had, you know, the Most High have shown them something different than everybody else. You have the ones that have been cast out because of their emotions are trying to take them someplace else closer to the Most High, and that congregation is not feeling it. And so when they come, like you said before, they're hurt. They're hurt.
So many stories.
I'm talking about some of them come with fresh wounds leaking, just been stitched up, barely stitched up, and they still leaking.
It's like they're bleeding out.
And they bleeding out.
It's like they're bleeding out.
Almost dying to get to a place of refuge.
Just somebody help me.
Yeah. And that,
somebody
right.
help me. Somebody see me.
Right. And that's the key word that you said. That we gotta tell the sheep, I see you.
Wow.
I see you.
Mm-hmm.
I see you. Not only that, we have to be human enough
Mm-hmm.
and have the wisdom to say, you know what? Let's move. I'm gonna move my title aside. Let's talk brother to brother, brother to sister, sister to brother, because your life depends on it. Mm-hmm. So does mine. So does mine, because I gotta lead, so I gotta find out what is your hinder of from you growing or moving. And I got to sit down and really not talk. I got to sit down and listen, and in listening, I got to be interceding, hoping, because you know what sheep do. You know, they're gonna try to go around the mulberry bush, and you guys try to hear what they're not saying, because some sheep, because of their wounds emotionally, are embarrassed. Are embarrassed, and sheep go to this pastor, and next thing you know, their business is across the pulpit, and then they run away, shame, with their head down.
But that's a weight too, though.
Yeah, it's a weight.
That's a weight too, because then they come to you, and this is what I believe we're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what we're supposed to do. That's a weight too. So when they come and we're listening, it's a weight to hear that you've been treated some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? In the house of faith, you know, and we know it happens. It's not, you know, no place is perfect. You know what I'm saying? We are becoming perfected, you know, but no place is perfect. Every place will have its thing, you know what I'm saying? Or things. But that's a weight too, because I know my heart gets heavy. You know what I'm saying? When I hear what their experience has been, you know what I'm saying? And I would never want people to feel like that. You know what I'm saying? I would never want, that's not a healed place. That's not a healing place. That's not a progressive place, you know? So I think the weight in ministry comes from so many different things. Yeah. It's not even really just about the sheep. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a weight of the ministry itself. There's a weight to cover and carry the gates of a ministry. There's the weight of making sure bills are paid. You understand? Making sure that people are functioning inside the ministry, because it is a living organism. It's supposed to grow. It's supposed to advance, you know, and having to oversee that and care for the sheep and take care of their emotions. And then have my own full-time job. I have my own family. I have my own husband. You understand what I'm saying? Then I have people in my family that I'm making sure are good, making sure they're okay. And this is where it has to be such a proper balance that you can't succumb to the weight.
Right.
You really can't succumb to the weight. And I think that the other thing I wanted to say while you were talking is I try to treat sheep how I would want to be treated if I was a sheep, or when I was a sheep, and when I experienced different things. You know, I was a single mother as a sheep, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I remember some specific instances of things that happened to me because I was a single mother. You know what I'm saying? So I would never want to make someone feel ousted. Because they're a single mother, or you can't sing, or you can't, you know, do this, or you can't do that because you're a single mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is the space to build people? You know, we all sin and fall short. Where is the grace? And what I mean by that, where are we stepping up in and protecting people and helping people. We all sin and fall short. When you're pregnant, you have a child, you're not married. We all know what happened. But where is the movement of the grace and the protective covering to build somebody up? You know what? That was sin, that's behind you. That happened yesterday, the day before. We don't want to keep bringing that into your today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like even all of that plus my own life, I'm like, I just want to know how I would want to be treated. I'm still a sheep. Let's just be real. We're still sheep, even as leaders. We're still sheep, but it's too many not whose names are not written in the book.
Right.
It's too many. And there are people who are separated.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really understand the magnitude of the love of Yahuwah for them. And so while it's a weight, it's a joy too. Right. So that balance, you know what I'm saying? And asking the Father for wisdom to deal with all these different weights.
Right.
That weight, like even in the title, that the emotional weight, even though it's a single word in writing, it's plural in reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's different weights, and we're supposed to lay aside sin and weight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Those are two different things.
Right.
So we're supposed to lay it aside. But I'm sorry. I know you probably have another question.
I do. I'm still in the same vein. Can you share a specific experience where you felt the emotional weight of your responsibilities strongly?
Oof. I think the hardest thing for me, if I could just be honest, it's two things. For men, I don't know about you, husband, but for me, it's two things. One, it's emotional weight when we have to bury someone that's been a member, that's been a sheep. And we've had that experience, and it was new for me to bury one of our members, you know, young person, younger than us, you know, and to watch her go through, you know, her sickness and to spend time with her and keep talking to her and keep praying and keep believing. And the Lord said, I want to heal her in glory. That was heavy. You know, that was a weight. That was, I will say that was life-changing for me. That kind of shifted me into, you know what, every day is a day of importance. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, you know. So I think that was probably one of the weightiest times for me. The other is when people leave. Because, you know, people do things for different reasons. You know, you have your reasons, and I respect your reasons. But it's hard to not say goodbye, but when people leave, you know what I'm saying? And they move on, you know what I'm saying? Or you hope that they move on. You hope that they stay, you know, grounded in the faith. But I've seen, not even just within our ministry, because it happens in every ministry, but I've seen even coming up in ministry where some people leave and they don't stay in the faith. You know, that is very heavy. That's heavy for me. Now, it's different when they're leaving to go start an assembly. You know, it's still hard because they're your children.
Right.
You know, they're your children. You're used to them being there. That's a space that they occupy. You know, you become to rely on them. They rely on you. You know, you're not your covenant. You know, and while the covenant's still there, it's still hard because, you know, they're your children. Just being honest, you know what I'm saying? And while you want them to be great, you still love them. You still miss them. You really become a family. You know, so when the Lord does the separation and the Lord begins to advance and move, we're still left with that emotional, like, you know, I want them to be great. I want them to do well, but I sure do miss them. You know what I'm saying? I miss them. You know what I'm saying? And Scott, you know, then you have to adjust and shift to make sure that you don't become overwhelmed with weight,
Right.
and that you can balance. You go ahead.
Yeah. Several more questions.
Oh, you have questions?
I have several more. So we're at 20 minutes left. Okay.
I agree with you. One of my heaviest, and even now, is being a leader, because of there's many things that I have failed, but I don't want to fail, and being a leader, there's times to where even leaders need to be encouraged, even shepherds need to be encouraged.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I hold very dear. There's a couple of scriptures I hold very dear to my heart. He said, "I've given you shepherds after my own heart." And when I feel like I don't have your heart, then that's a weight. And with that weight, then I begin to feel as though that, okay, right about now, I don't feel worthy to preach. I don't feel worthy to teach. I don't feel. I know you called me to. You told me, if I love you, feed your sheep,
Yes.
lead your lamb. But at this point in time, this is where I don't want to fail. This is where I don't want to lead someone astray. I don't want their blood on my hand.
Yeah.
Where did I make a wrong turn? Did I say something? Did I do something? I need you to show me. I need you to tell me. And a lot of people don't realize that shepherds don't get a lot of sleep. They pace the floor.
Yeah, it's a weight.
It's a weight. They find themselves sometimes even to the point to where they're talking to themselves. People like, "What are you doing?" And it's just like, I'm not talking to you. I'm just huh?
I was looking at the screen.
And so and the other way is when the Most High gives you an instruction to help the sheep, and you give it to them, and you're there, and you encourage them, and all of a sudden they turn around and look you in your face and tell you, "I'm not doing that." And your heart just dropped, because you know what comes after that. And then you have to sit there and watch them go through that. It's sad, and it's a weight, because of, once again, we're human, so we're gonna have those feelings, and you gotta make sure that your emotions, that you keep your emotions in check, because it's gonna be very, very easy. It's very, very easy to preach out of your emotions.
Yeah.
Right, and you can't do that. And the thing about it is, too, are we quick to find words to preach in our emotions?
Oh, she's got more questions.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
There's a question from one of our audience. How do you deal with resentment from one of your sheep following chastisement, or just plain instructions that they refuse to follow or listen to?
How do I deal with it? I give them instruction. They don't do it. What I do is like, okay, I go to the Most High, and I ask him to check me, because of the instructions did not come from me. The instruction came from the Most High. And when you reject the messenger, what you have done is you rejected the Most High. Now, don't get me wrong. I get offended, because not because you rejected me, you rejected the Most High. And so with that, I have to ask him, please get my attitude right. Just because of, at this point, we in a crossroad. Because if Kevin comes out, not Apostle Miller, not Apostle, but if Kevin comes out,
I need the saints to pray.
if Kevin comes out and try to call and try to give wisdom, it's gonna go a hard left. A hard left.
That's the discipline,
right,
of being a shepherd.
Right. And so even with that, and not only that, I have to keep in mind that at this point in time that they may not have matured in this area yet. Have to keep in mind. So I have to keep myself prayed up and have to intercede to where I'm asking the Most High, this is where I need your wisdom. I need you to guide me and to lead me how to navigate and direct this individual. I should say not individual, but I can't even call him my brother or my sister or my son or my daughter. and you know, and the thing about it is that I sit there and I'm going like this. Okay. Get your act together, brother, because you definitely not saying that.
But I think a part of that question, she said in the question, when you give the instruction and they don't follow the instruction, and then following chastisement or just plain instructions that they refuse to follow or listen to. So she's the question, and what's the outcome of that connection? I see that too. So to me, if you resent what's being said to you, there's already something going on in you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I am not here to fight you.
Nope.
I'm here to help you.
Yep.
But I also will not force you, because the Most High does not force us.
Right.
Does not force us. So I'm the person where in most cases I'm going to approach the situation. I'm confrontational, and what I mean by that is I'm confrontational. And if I try to tell you something and I see that there's an issue with what I've said, and that I see you begin to change, you know, because we can tell a whole story by our facial expressions and our body language, you know, and I'll say something, you know, is everything okay? You know what I'm saying? Did I do something, you know, that bothers you? Did I do something to hurt you or what have you? And some people will say yes, and we'll have the conversation, and then, okay, maybe I didn't explain it right. You know what I'm saying? Let me go into a deeper detail. I'm not a person that likes things to sit and fester, because to me, that just is going to create a bigger issue down the road that will cause me then to have to walk apostolically, or will cause me then to really have to walk as the true shepherd that I am. You know what I'm saying? I want to have the conversation, because I think that's the Most High, how he talks to us. But when we don't listen, he has to deal with the fact that we don't listen. And then the resentment, I don't want to filter in to other areas of the ministry. You know what I'm saying? To other people, because, you know, we like to have people on our side whenever we feel like we've been hurt or wounded or whatever. We want to tell people and we want to get people on our side, and people don't realize that's discord. You know what I'm saying? That's showing discord. So there have been times where I have watched people try to destroy our ministry from the inside out. And the Most High would not let me say anything. And I watched it, and the instruction I got from him was to not say anything, because the heart was already in a place where anything that I said, anything that he said, it would have been a problem. And he said, sometimes people's minds are already where they want to be. They're already where their decision is. And those are the people that you bid adieu. You know what I'm saying? I love you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this isn't the place for you, you know, because you can't be resentful and then cause discord in the body. We have to stand up against that stuff. we have to stand up against that stuff because we have a whole pasture of sheep to protect.
Right.
We will go back for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a whole group of people that we have to care about. You know what I'm saying? That we have to make sure aren't affected by that resentment. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in conversation, and I believe in direct conversation. Let's talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, say how you feel. I'm a big girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm a big girl. I've been out in the world working in an industry where there ain't a whole bunch of me as a leader. You know what I'm saying? I think I can pretty much handle your conversation, but most times people don't come to you. They just show it in their action. They don't come to you and say, you know, it bothered me the way that you said that, or, you know, I thought that maybe you felt this way about me because of what you said. I have nothing to really do with it. How I feel about you has nothing to do with where you're supposed to go and the instruction of something that needs to be corrected.
Right. So we're going to move on and talk about support systems. As leaders, what kind of support network do you have in place, both personally and professionally, to help you cope with the emotional demands of your ministry?
You have to have covenant people.
Yes.
You have to have covenant people. I like to call them your the people that your sounding boards. Your people that you can go and talk to. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to talk to the people inside your ministry. You know what I'm saying? Now, there are times when you have to, because you have leaders inside of your ministry that are responsible for helping you run the ministry. And we're building them and growing them. But I find that we have each other. And then we have people that we are covenant with, that when we need to pick up the phone, call somebody when we're going through something, where we're feeling frustrated, you know, we go through the same emotions as other people. We just don't have the liberty to fall into it. But we do have to deal with how we feel. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you just need a moment to have somebody that you're covenant with, that they'll just hear you out. You know, and they'll come and they'll pray with you, you know, they'll get you back in line. They'll let you say what you got to say, and they'll be like, oh, that's true. But you still have to be who you are. Right. You know what I'm saying? That for me, I think that's vital.
That is very vital. But sometimes too, you're gonna have to detach yourself for a moment. For me, it's my wife says it. For me, all I want to do is just sit and be quiet. To detach is, you know, that's for me, in order for me to.
You mean like take a step back?
Take a step back
and take quiet.
Take quiet time. I may go to a basketball game, a football game, something just to separate myself for that moment, because in that, if I stay attached, then I can't hear what I need to hear. So and I'll tell everybody, and everybody, pastors, shepherds, leaders, y'all need to have hobbies. For real.
Something to do other than church.
Yeah, because listen, date night, movie night, me time, golf, basketball, to the range, whatever. You need to have something to where you can detach, so that way you get your mind right.
Yeah. The Father gives us other things to go along with our faith.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the work we have to do for him. He gives us the privilege of marriage. He gives us the privilege of having children with the honor. You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't be all church 24/7, 365. That's not balance.
No, that's destruction.
You know? So, okay.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay, I'm narrowing it down, so I'm just going to ask one more question, and then I'm going to open it up for those who may have questions, whether they want to call in or put them in the comments. So this question is basically for you to share your advice and give reflections on what we talked about. If you could give one piece of advice to someone entering into ministry about handling emotional weight, what would it be?
Honestly, don't wear the weight.
Mhm.
Deal with the weight, but don't wear it. Don't own it. Don't let it overtake you. Always find methods of balance. Make sure you're a person of prayer, meditation on the Father, being still, like husband said, being still and taking time for yourself, and having boundaries. Having boundaries. What do you think?
I think anyone that's want to go into ministry, dealing with having to deal with emotional weight, you got to make sure first that you're good.
That you're good.
That you're good before you go start any Bible study, any intercessory prayer, any service. You got to any ministry. You got to make sure that you're good, that you're sound. Mind is sound because
we can't be so performance based.
Right. I mean, you because of you got to be able to move.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to move. If you stay stationary, you're gonna get plucked upside the head. You got to be able to move. You got to be able to slip a punch. You got to be able to take a punch. And if you can't, you're not gonna last in this.
It's not for the faint.
No, it's not. It's not. You almost got to have skin like Teflon.
But you got to learn to get that skin.
You got to learn.
You will learn to get that skin. You know what I'm saying? It comes. There's even with every battle comes a wisdom.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The Lord teaches your hands to war, your fingers to fight. Mm-hmm. He teaches you if you don't succumb to emotion.
Yes.
He teaches you. We have to learn how to not be woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? When something happens and be like, Father, that bothered me. That bothered me. I don't like it. It hurt my feelings. But I don't want to carry that. So I need you to tell me, how do I deal with things like this? Because it's going to come around again, and it will keep coming until you master how to deal with things that come. I call them arrows, fiery darts, that come to you. And there's different levels of fiery darts, depending on the level that you're at in ministry. And you have to be healed. Yeah. You have to be healed, and you ask the Father to heal you. You all continually have to ask for healing, because things are going to continually happen on top of your own life issues, on top of your own things going on in your life. It's really, to me, a continual walk into oneness with the Father to lead his people. You have to become his under shepherd.
I have one more question in closing, for real. I would say we're about to end service, but but I have one more question, and that's just for transparency, if you will. Okay, is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Looking back on your experience, right? Is there anything that you would have done differently in terms of managing emotional stress?
I would. I to give in sooner to the Most High.
Wow.
And the reason why is because is I try to do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
And what it did was cause me heartache and pain and stress and watching it fall apart. And until I truly trust him and believe him. And that's two different things. That is two different things. Until I truly trusted him and believe in him and let him guide me in building it, that was it. That weight became lighter and lighter and lighter. And like, now, please understand, the emotional weight is always going to be there, but he will make
burden easy.
yeah,
Light.
he'll make it light. He'll make it light for you. And not only that, it can be something that's manageable.
Mm-hmm. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, you wanted me to say something?
Yeah.
No, it got quiet all of a sudden. What happened? You know how technology is. I'm just making sure that we were still safe. So we're done with the questions. So now you can continue to ask your questions in the comments, or you can call anonymously. It's going to ask you to state your name, but you can just say caller, and then you'll be on air to ask your question. If not, we can continue to speak in the comments. But in the meantime, apostles, you can continue to speak, just sharing your ministry, and continue on about emotional weight. And then we're going to give them a few minutes, and then we're going to close on out if there's no questions.
I got you. I think one of the things that it's important too, that for someone who is longing to start a ministry, but I really believe it's for anyone who desires to be a leader. Because you may be a leader inside of a ministry that's already established. I think the important thing is, again, to make sure that you, and I sent this out to our leaders today, it's okay to make sure you're okay.
Oh, yes, it is.
It's okay to check your house sometimes. It's okay to make sure that when the enemy comes, he doesn't find anything in you. It's okay to make sure that you've forgiven, to make sure that there's not nothing, because we forgive, you know what I'm saying? And we're continually forgiving. That's why I say healing is a continual process. Growing is a continual process. But things happen along the journey that could put something else in us. And because we're trying to be so strong and we're trying to be so performance-based, which we really don't need to be, we just have to obey. We just need to know his voice and obey it. He will always lead us in the right path. It's important to stop sometimes and examine yourself and make sure you're okay. If you're feeling some type of way about something you're just feeling, you know what I'm saying? You're feeling short. You're feeling like you don't have a lot of patience. You're feeling frustrated. Whatever it is there are times that you need to stop and examine where that's coming from. Examine where that's coming from, because it's perfectly okay to sweep your house.
Yes.
To sweep out your house, because things get caught up in the cobwebs when it's not clean. When you see cobwebs, you see the cobweb, and then you see everything that has been collected inside of it. So it's okay to continually to sweep. Let me just check myself. Let me just take a moment. Let me take a step back. Let me still myself. And let me just check my heart. Let me check my house. Let me make sure my mind is okay, that I'm renewed, that I'm, not in any type of headspace. Like, it is okay to take the time to do that. People should go on vacation. You should go on vacation. You know what I'm saying? You should do things with your family. Like I had a child who played basketball in high school. I made sure I saw my child's games. You know what I'm saying? We had a son that played football. We made sure that we supported him. We weren't missing that. We can't be so responsible for one thing and then not be able to be responsible for another. There is the balance. And our kids aren't going to care that we were at church.
They don't care nothing about that.
They're our responsibility too. Your ministry is your first home. Isn't that the adage that people say?
Yeah.
Your ministry is your first home. Really, our ministry is the most high. That's always our first ministry. Always. Our ministry is unto the Lord. But he gives us the blessings and the benefits of family and children. And we have to tend to that too. So I will say to for anyone that desires to be a leader, especially if they're a new leader or a current leader, you take the time to live your life.
Absolutely.
To live your life and to be balanced. And now, let me add this caveat. Because I think sometimes people don't be Don't be messy with the Father.
Mm.
Don't be lazy with the Father.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, oh, well, it's a little cold outside, so I don't feel like going today to Torah study, or I don't feel like going to Sabbath. I don't feel like doing prayer, so I'm not going to be on time. And then you always want to give him your best. You can be tired. You can be in all of that. Father, give me the strength.
Wow.
Help me be able to endure, to come into your presence with thanksgiving for all that you have done. And this is my reasonable service, but I don't want it to be that. I want it to be, this is what I want to give to you. And I want to give it to you right and well and with excitement and love, not out of obligation.
So, but check this out too. That what we do too is we constantly run. And when you was talking, I was just you talking about cobweb, and when you constantly in and out your house and you don't spend time in it, and what happens is
that's a word.
You look busy. You look busy, and you look busy, but you're really not busy. You just running because you don't want to deal with the emotional part with the ministry.
Don't want to sleep.
And so therefore, if I keep busy, eventually it'll go away. No, baby, it's not going to go away. It's weight. It's going to be added weight. It's going to be added weight.
It becomes rooted.
It becomes rooted. And
rooted.
And to the point to where, and this happens to a lot of pastors, to where the emotional weight, you constantly keep running. You're not putting this here. You're not putting that there. You're not putting up this fire, that fire. All of a sudden, you become completely burnt out, and you throw in the towel. And then all of a sudden, the work, not even the ministry, that part of the kingdom is supposed that was put in your hands to build is now rubble.
Or left unmanned.
Left
unguarded.
Yeah. And so and that emotional part, you got to take care of your house. Your house.
Spirit lives.
Your house.
The Holy Spirit lives.
And webs only form in an empty space.
Right.
So if you occupy, you're not going to find too many webs, right? But when it's empty, you're going to find quite a few.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep. Gotta have it filled. That's these words.
You had a good word with the topic. You said the wisdom of balance. Now that's the topic.
The wisdom of balance.
Wisdom.
Are you going to be calling me about this later?
So, guys, I enjoyed you very much. I felt the pullback though. I felt it, but
we have to, because you only got an hour.
Yeah.
We have as long as we want.
See, that's that aggression that I get from my friends. You know what I'm saying? You see that aggression?
Hallelujah.
This was really good.
But people don't realize you don't know what's inside of a thing until you're inside of it.
Right.
Because there's not a voice out there that can really tell you in one sitting all that you will encounter.
Absolutely.
We can give you an idea, but that may not even begin to encompass what you are going to experience as a leader. Because we're just talking about things related to inside of the house. We've not talked about anything atmospheric.
Right.
We have not talked about the spiritual wickedness in high places. We've not talked about, what I'm saying, the demons that come, that are sitting and crouching and that can leap on people and use them. You know what I'm saying? We haven't talked about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking about the weight of the human side, the earthly realm.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole other weight in the spirit.
And the weight is heavier when you're obedient.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to obey is better.
Yeah.
Than to sacrifice, because the thing about sacrifice is that you got to keep making him.
Yeah.
It's just better to obey than to keep having to sacrifice and sacrifice. Eventually, you're going to run out of things to sacrifice, because remember, the sacrifice has to be pure.
Come on.
So you're eventually going to run out of pure things because you're just not obedient.
Mm-hmm.
It's just better to obey and do what he says. You know what I'm saying? Get you some good wisdom around you.
Yes.
Who's not trying to take over what you have. You know what I'm saying? But who will come under you and support you and help you. And you got to be able to receive what they're saying, even in the correction. Maybe you want to align this a little bit more. Maybe you need to go a little bit deeper in that study. Maybe you need to spend a little bit more time in prayer. Take this to the Father and sit and wait.
Wow.
Until he responds. If he don't respond till next year, then that's when you move. We try to get in front of the Father, especially when you're a leader in ministry. I think there's a whole spirit. I don't even know what you would call that spirit, but it's like it's kind of competitive, but not really. But it is like I gotta hurry up and I gotta arrive. I gotta hurry up and I gotta get this done. But only what we build according to the pattern of Elohim is going to last.
Not only that, is everything that you're saying is right, but the thing about it is that when a leader is have weight on them, and the Most High send you somebody who can lead you and guide you, because here's my thing: the one that can help you got more weight on them than you, because what weight does is it causes you to walk heavy. It causes you to walk. For an example, if your hands are empty, you're gonna walk light. You put a case of sodas in your hand, the vibrations of your footsteps are even heavier. Yeah. It's gonna change. Your steps are gonna leave a print.
Yeah, there's an impact.
It's an impact
of your steps in what you carry.
And so with these pastors out here who have wisdom. And the Most High has sent them to you, and you don't take heed to the gold nuggets. What's going to happen is that you're going to continue on until you get it. Is one thing that that I always say, don't nobody want to sit at the apostles' feet anymore. They just don't. Why? Because they preach one good sermon. It's a half of a sermon. It's a sermonette.
The saints is not praying.
And what happens is somebody say that boy is good. That boy real good. And that's thing you know, they got a bag. They got one pencil in the bag, half a sheet of paper in the bag, and a Bible in the bag, and they talking about they're ready.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Since you're getting ready to get hungry. There was two things about weight that Ruach dropped in my spirit, and one is there's a weight, a different type of weight, like how we weigh in the spirit.
Yes.
As well. Yeah. There's weight that we carry in the spirit, and there's a weighing that happens in the spirit. And the weighing, when you think about weighing something, the ultimate goal of weighing is to balance. Is to balance. You understand what I'm saying? So the weight that we carry is supposed to balance things that are happening around us. We have that authority and that weight to balance what is happening. We carry it naturally and we carry it spiritually. We have the ability to balance. We have the ability to help people balance their lives. We have the ability to balance people so they can get delivered. We have, it's so much to it that really it's not to be played with. It's not to be wielded unresponsibly.
So check this out.
Wait a minute, hold on. Are we good?
Yeah. Good.
Is that a question or something? Okay, go ahead.
So check this out, sis. I'm gonna upset the enemy right now. There's somebody watch it. I can do what she does. Okay, that's what they're saying. But my thing about is they don't have the emotional weight to do what you do. Okay. See, because it's more than a podcast, because after the podcast is over with, you still deal with the emotional weight that you had to listen to everybody saying and read the comments and everything else like this and that. And then you have to go to the Most High to direct and put them in certain categories.
Yeah.
So that way that you're good.
Mm-hmm.
And so people think that I can do this, I can do that. No, listen, you don't know what I had to go through emotionally to get you don't know the miles that I had to walk, or the tears that I had to cry, or the blood that I lost, or the sleep that I lost, or anything, or the money I had to cough up to make sure that somebody else's light stayed on when mine was in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Make sure somebody else's refrigerator was full. When I felt like old brother Hubbard. What I'm just saying.
Is there another?
No, there aren't any more questions coming through. I think they're quiet because they're eating. They're trying to digest what you have given to them. But this was a great episode.
I want you to take heed to what husband said to you, though. I don't know if you caught it, and knowing you the way that I do, you probably did, and you just walking by it and you'll deal with it later. But he said they don't understand the weight of this ministry.
I heard him, and they for a long time, I was not so much denying the fact that it was ministry, but I didn't want to come off as a ministry. And the more I tried not to, the more that he was making me aware that it is. This is a platform where his word is getting out, and we're talking about all topics, and the topics we talk about are real life issues that need to be discussed in the church that isn't. And we don't talk about these things. So yes, it is a ministry. Yeah. And with weight, I have to prepare questions. I have to also study what I'm asking you guys to present. So in case you say something wrongly on the air, I have to correct it.
Right.
You know, so
gate watch, gotta keep the gate.
Right.
Gotta man the gate.
Right. So this is really good. Before we go off the air, does anyone have a question or a comment that you would like to? But this is really good.
Everybody's like, we're not going to ask no more questions. We got to sit back now and think about if we want to be leaders.
Yep, that's it.
Guys, thank you so much. We hope that you will come back, and this way you can cut loose, and it won't be in an interview form, but you can just minister to us. We have those episodes as well.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys, we are going to end this this podcast, Understanding the Emotional Weight. We hope that you got something out of it. We hope that you were blessed. Please share this this broadcast with those who follow you and those that are on your timeline. It helps if you share, if you comment. It helps us. We're our monetized podcasts. And all that you do helps. So sharing helps, commenting helps, viewing helps. So please help us continue on in this ministry. Remember, it's okay not to be okay, just as long as we don't stay in this place. Okay? Have a good night, everyone. Again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Actually, next month, we're going to showcase small businesses, fret not small beginnings. So that's what we're going to be doing next month. All right. Good night, everybody. Have any closing remarks, you guys?
Just be your best you.
Yep.
And take care of you.
Yep. And just know that you built for it.
You built for it.
All right. Guys, don't go anywhere. Stay in the back. Good night, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Please join us again next week for another riveting and informative segment of His Will for Your Life podcast with Sherry and our special guest,